Many congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Heartiest congratulations, Utkarsh.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So, how was your day?
Very hectic, sir. The school told some news channels, so they'd all come home today.
Okay,
So,
okay. So
So
now,
you got a feel of a celebrity.
sir, actually, the last news person who came, he just got a call while he was interviewing me about some retired IAS officer whose phone has been stolen or something. So he's going to go there next. So that just shows me where I am right now.
Having a hectic day, as we already said. So, what are your plans for tomorrow?
For tomorrow, I haven't prepared as well as I should have for ELIT, but still, I'm hoping to get into NLU Delhi too, just so I can look at myself and I can say, "Ki, I chose Bangalore and Bangalore was not my last option." So I want to keep that option of Delhi open, but I'm sure I'll take Bangalore. But I still want to go give ELIT tomorrow.
Before going ahead, first, just give us a brief background of yours. Like, when did you first start planning that you would want to pursue law, take a CLAT? And I think you were in commerce in 11 and 12.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So, because with commerce, there are a lot of other opportunities which open up. So, what
Right,
led
sir.
you to this and when did this actually happen?
So, sir, basically, when I was in 10th, and for the first 15 years of my life, I was interested in pursuing science as a career, like most of the students are. So, I wanted to go for JEE, I wanted to pursue engineering, and I was even preparing for that. I was in FITG and all, and I was preparing for JEE. But one day it was I think March of 2019 when I was in the coaching center, and I was just going to the classes when I thought ki this mechanical world does not suit me at all. So uh, I know that if I would have worked hard, maybe I would have gotten somewhere, maybe, but I didn't want to pursue it any further. I didn't want to focus all my attention on something which I knew I wouldn't want to do in the future. So that day I thought ki science is not an option anymore. So when I came back and I thought, if not science, then what? Then I started researching a bit, and I found that the way in which arguments become the central idea of your profession in law, I found that to be quite interesting. Like a slight change in even a missing of a comma in a sentence could change the entire uh, world in a way. So that piqued my interest a lot. And so my sister is studying in NLU. She also gave CLAT. So of course, I had a second-hand experience of what it's like, and I saw her, and I thought that it seemed pretty interesting, and I think that brought me towards law.
When you said that it was about the argument and how a particular comma can punctuations can change the meaning. So in that case, I am looking at someone who should have gone into humanities.
Right, sir. But
Which have happened
right, sir. But humanities as in the stream or in the future, sir?
in the stream.
In the stream, right, sir. But I
Please
found that
take law.
right, sir. But even my parents suggested me to take humanities at first because it's kind of a cliche. You take humanities and then you pursue law. But I had an inkling towards maths. Maths was my favorite subject growing up, and commerce attracted me a lot. The idea, I'm very attracted to numbers in a way, so I thought ki commerce suited my interests better, just like law suits my interests better in the future. And as such, humanities is something that I'm going to study as a lawyer anyway. So might as well study something else before you study humanities. So I thought that suited commerce. I thought commerce suited me that way.
Now coming to your preparation. So you were in our 2 year program, right? Uh,
Right, sir.
Started early with your preparations.
Yes, sir.
How was that journey? Like initially, did you find that it was coming to you naturally, or you had to put in some extra effort? So, what was the preparation like? Just give us a brief of these 2 years of preparation.
When I first started in 11th, the CLAT pattern was entirely different. So what we had to do back then was more or less focus on mugging up certain words, read the read Manthan every week and like note down all the main points, every small appointment, every small happening, just note it down, and mugging up was the main idea back then. But after that in 2019, I think the pattern changed around December. So around then I was doing sort of okay in mocks, but but the area in which I had a problem was in verbal reasoning. And when I heard that CLAT had shifted its pattern and it was now more or less a paper like GMAT, and we all had to prepare verbal reasoning a lot. Initially, I had a few apprehensions about whether CLAT would suit me anymore. But as it turned out, I practiced a lot. I gave a lot of mocks, and after analyzing where I was going wrong, and after that, I figured out the reasoning is more or less simple once you have an idea of the arguments you're supposed to follow. So after that, I think my scores improved a bit, and then I thought I can actually do well in CLAT. Around and in my second year of prep in plus two, when the lockdown started and all, then I started preparing more for CLAT and less for boards. So I think around that time, my CLAT preparation really started to pick up heat.
I think Dipankar sir would like to take some questions.
Hi, Utkarsh. Many congratulations.
Hi, sir.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you
And
so much, sir.
so one thing that we need to ask you is when you see your preparation in the midway, the pattern changed, and somehow or the other you need to adapt to the new pattern. One thing that I wanted to ask, and probably this will also inspire a lot of people, is that did you have a reading habit before you approach this exam, and whether reading habit per se is one of the skills that will help you in the new pattern or not?
I remember, sir, my first class at Career Launcher was with you, and when I came to the center, that day you had told us we had to start preparing, we had to start reading editorials more often, and we had to start developing a reading habit in case we didn't have one. Back then, I thought I did have a reading habit, but when I started reading these technical articles and all, I realized that my reading habit was only limited to the things which I had an interest in. But that was something which, if I would have limited myself to, then a paper like CLAT would have been difficult, because passages you cannot predict them. So I started developing a reading habit. After that, I started realizing that whatever information is given to me is information, no matter whether it interests me or not. So I started reading technical articles. I started reading articles from the Wall Street Journal. I started reading articles from scientific magazines, and I started developing an interest towards it. And I think I firmly believe that a reading habit is very important for an exam like CLAT, because when you approach a passage, you have to approach it as if you're interested in it. Because if you're not, then you're not going to identify what the arguments are. If you're just reading the passage as something you have to, as something a few points in which you have to mug up, then you're not going to understand the crux of it, and that's going to affect your scores. So a reading habit is very much important for CLAT.
But do you think it affected you since you were preparing along with 11 and 12? Uh, did it in any way come in the way of your exam preparations, or the other way around? How much of your school do you think affected your preparation for CLAT? Of course, you had 2 years' time, which is a good thing. When you start early, you have that advantage. But still, how much did you have to cope balancing?
Whenever I asked any of you how one can prepare school along with boards, the first most answer I got was, you have to be regular. You have to give a certain amount of time. You can pick your amount of time according to your needs, but you have to be regular. You can't go for a few weeks and then leave it for a few months and then pick up again, because you're going to lose momentum that way. So I did not give a significant amount of our time to CLAT from the beginning. In 11th, I think I studied only an hour or so every day. I would do some maths questions or some verbal questions. I would pick one subject and solve a few questions in that. But it was continuous. It wasn't like I was doing it more or less every day. And I think that helped me retain my momentum. In 12th, I increased that duration somewhat. And I think more than the amount of time you're preparing, more than the amount of time you're giving to a particular subject every day, the consistency in which you prepare matters more, because at the end of the day, CLAT is all about developing skills, and skills don't develop in a few days. They require concentrated efforts over a long period of time. So I think I followed I made a schedule and I stuck to it. I tried to give enough amount of time to my boards, but now we'll never know if the time was enough. But I think it was enough for CLAT.
So
Utkarsh, what was the area that you really had to focus on? I mean, you had to devote more time, more amount.
So my one of my when I picked CLAT as an exam, I thought ki I would do well in it because my analytical skills were okay. But after the pattern changed and I realized that the paper is more verbal centric now, I realized I needed to work more on my verbal skills. So I was kind of weak in verbal assumptions and courses of action and drawing conclusions and inferences. Those were the questions I had problems in. So I realized I was kind of neglecting them before because they did not carry a heavier weightage. But after the pattern change, I realized I needed to work on those. And so I think logical and legal were the had a problem in. And later, when English started becoming more logic centric, English became an issue too. But I had to focus on verbal a lot, and that was my weak point.
And in fact, after the pattern change, the pandemic hit us. So how did you manage your cope with the online classes? Were you comfortable the way the classes were being conducted?
Right, sir. I think one good thing about career launcher classes in our center particularly was that we had it in the afternoons or in the evenings. So we had it did not clash with school preparation time at all, because school classes were mostly in the morning, and uh, any ancillary study we had to do could be done at night. So career launcher classes were scheduled at the proper time, so that helped a lot. And apart from that, I think it was, even if school would have been off, even if everything would have been offline, we would have had to find a way to manage, because offline classes, maybe transportation and all would take a lot of time. So in a way, I think we could take it as a positive. We had these classes online, we had the lectures of all the classes. So even if we missed a class, we could make it up the next day. So I think in a way, the pandemic was a blessing for those who were preparing for both boards and class together.
Devankar.
Utkarsh, there is another thing that I wanted to ask you. Let's say a student comes up to you right now and asks you, Ki, what would I do different from others? Because the way you see it, there are some uniform standards. Books same hote hain, time is same. The effort that somebody puts is, depends on themselves. I mean, at the end, the problem that people suffer is that when they reach a mark of 80 and their score keeps on remaining at 80, you hit that plateau and you can't breach that barrier. And then certain people say that you need to work on your strengths, recognize your strengths, work on your weaknesses. My question to you is that, did you ever suffer a plateau of marks? And how would you advise somebody to recognize their mistakes and working on their weaknesses?
I think if someone does not reach a plateau in their CLAT prep, they're not preparing hard enough. A plateau is bound to happen at some point or the other. If you're preparing for a long enough time, you would observe that in 5-6 mocks, your scores are not increasing above a certain level. And after you breach that level, you find it tougher to breach the next level. So a plateau is a very important part of the learning curve. My plateau was first around the 100 to 105s. I was there for a long period of time. And coincidentally, my final score was my final score was also 105. But I breached that barrier. I did that because I realized that in the mocks that I was giving, the problem with me was that I was not changing my strategy when I realized it was not working. I was attempting English and then going to maths and then going to logic and all. And I was realizing that I was getting fatigued by the time I came to legal. And when I came to legal, I was more or less thinking about कौन सा question English में छोड़ दिया जो वापस जाना है, because legal is something that you require a lot of attention in, and because I gave my entire paper before going to legal, I was sort of getting distracted. So that was the problem with my prep, but I think it would be different with everyone. Another problem I encountered was not reading the passages well enough. I was skimming through them at first. When I started giving those new pattern mocks, I realized that I was more or less skimming through the passages because I was focusing on my speed more than my accuracy. So I had to, but in the end, even that did not work out, because if I skimmed through the passage, then to solve the questions, I would have to go back. So that took a significant amount of time. So I realized that I needed to read the passages better, even if it took a couple minutes. I realized I needed to read them properly to understand what the points are. And I think everyone would have a different problem with their prep, and I think they should approach some faculty, and if they cannot solve it themselves, first of all, they should obviously try to solve it themselves because they know themselves better. Analyzing your past 5-6 mocks and the problematic areas in it would help. And if one is not able to solve them, then of course, approaching a faculty as soon as possible would be the best way out.
What
Vishal,
exactly
sir?
do between the mocks?
Sorry, sir.
What exactly did you do in between mocks to be able to make sure that whatever, let's say, common mistakes that you're making or any strategic mistakes that you're making? So strategic, perhaps you can experiment in a few mocks. Again, how you've done it, you can tell us. But anything from the preparation point of view that you changed in between mocks?
So reading long passages for a long period of time gets incredibly fatiguing. I was doing English and then I was going to GK and logic, and I was getting tired by the time I went to legal, as I said. So I realized one thing I could change, and I think Vishal sir, you only told this to us in the first class after the pattern change. You said that we could try to refresh our minds a bit by solving English and then say doing one maths caselet, because there are 3 or 4 maths caselets. So we could do one maths caselet and then do the next subject, which according to our schedule, like my sequence was doing English first, then doing a maths caselet, then doing GK, maths caselet, legal maths caselet, and logic and the last maths caselet in case there is one. So I think breaks between giving the mocks helps to refresh you and helps to forget any mistakes that you would have done in the previous uh, odd minutes. So I think this would be a strategy that helped me, but that does not mean it would help everyone. I know many people who like warming up a bit before going to their mock. So they start with maths and GK, which warms them up, and then they go for the heavy hitting sections. So it depends on it depends on the person who's giving the mock and their mindset. But I found that doing a few maths questions helped me refresh a lot.
Could you just give us a little bit of a glimpse as to how would you go about your analysis of mocks, and how much time would you spend on the mock once the test is over?
So if I believe if one does not analyze a mock, then the entire mock was fruitless. So at the beginning of my CLAT prep, I was doing the mistake of only analyzing the questions which I got wrong, which I realized after a period of time that I was discounting the questions which I guessed or which I did not know the correct logic to, and I solved just by elimination. Elimination is a fine method, but it does not always work when there are a couple of options which are very close. So I realized that was one mistake I was making. So in the later stages of my CLAT prep, I was spending about 2.5 to 3 hours on the analyzing every mock. I was going through the questions which I got wrong first, and I read the solutions and tried to solve them myself and tried to explain the solution to myself, so that I get this wrong question wrong if I got it again. And if I could not solve it on my own, I would ask the faculty to help me out. Uh, and once I was done with all the wrong questions, I had a mental list of the questions which I guessed and which I did not know the correct answer to. I would go through all the questions once and I would realize which ones these are. And I would read the solutions to those two to sort of put a layer on my prep. So I put a watertight layer on my prep. So if I encountered something like that the next time, the getting the question right would not depend on my mindset and it would become a part of my instinct. So that was one thing I worked on. And I think one should always analyze all questions in a mock, irrespective of whether they were easy or not, just to find out if there's a different way to solve what you've already solved.
And in fact, on the CLAT day, you had any pre-planned strategy or you decided there right on the spot and which all sections you need to attend first, how the flow should be there. So was there a
Uh,
game plan or it happened impromptu?
uh, I always had a fixed plan when I was giving my mocks, but then the fact is true that CLAT does not stick to a pattern. CLAT never sticks to a pattern. So I had a backup plan prepared in case the paper didn't turn out to be as it was in 2020. I'd gone through the 2020 paper and I had fixed out a strategy based on that. And so I thought that if the paper stays the same, then I would follow the same. But when I opened the paper, I initially thought that I should go and check GK because the GK section is always problematic in every class. So I thought I should go and check the GK section first. But when I got the paper and when I broke the seal, I thought it would be wiser not to check GK because if the GK was not according to my expectations, I would be instantly demotivated. So I thought it would be better to stick to the strategy I had in plan and be comfortable and just attempt the paper as I attempted a mock. So I used the same strategy.
Which section did you start with?
I started with English. Then again a maths caselet, then GK, then legal, then logic.
And you could manage to complete the paper within the stipulated time, or
I was actually scared when I finished the paper uh, 20 minutes before time. I was like, this wasn't supposed to happen. So I thought I'd done mistakes, which I later realized I had. I have done a few silly mistakes in legal, which I should not have. I probably lost 5-10 marks because of that. So uh, it did not affect me right now, but I'm sure if I would not have got NLS, I would have been beating myself up. So I did make a few mistakes in legal. I forgot to follow my strategy of analyzing the passage well, and I started to nitpick the options. And if the option wasn't to my liking, I would eliminate it straight away, which was not a strategy one should have used in the legal section of CLAT 2021. The options were not what you were looking for, but if they made sense, then one should have gone for it. So I think I should have opted for a better strategy, but yes, the paper was quite different from what we had expected. So uh, I thought we should, but I did not change my strategy at the last moment. So I think that was one thing which I regret, but I think it provides a good learning opportunity. So for someone hearing this, do not expect anything from CLAT 2022.
yeah,
Just
because
prepare everything.
many of the students felt the paper was very lengthy, but you could finish it up well before time.
Right, sir. But I think that was more or less because I did not give enough attention to legal. I think the paper would have been quite tough if one had read all the legal passages and actually given more time to eliminating options in legal. I think it would have taken a little bit more time, but more or less, I thought the paper was easier than CLAT 2020. CLAT 2020 was a very lengthy paper.
So now that you have already practiced on the CLAT 2020 paper, you have appeared for the CLAT 2021 paper. So what would you advise to all those who will be appearing in 2022 as well as 2023? How should they, what should the game plan for them?
So the first time I attempted CLAT 2020 paper, when I finished with it, I texted Vishal sir. I said ki sir, like I said ki I have doubts in a lot of questions, and I was beginning to question my CLAT prep at that moment because this was I think May 2021, and we had like 2 months to go for CLAT, and I was questioning if I would make it. Before that, I was scoring okay in mock, so I was more or less confident. But CLAT 2020, giving CLAT 2020 ka paper undermined my confidence a lot. So I had a conversation with Vishal sir. We solved a lot of questions together, and in the end, I think we concluded that the CLAT 2020 paper had a lot of mistakes. And I asked sir if I should prepare for mistakes in the CLAT 2021 paper, and he said no because uh, even if the CLAT paper has mistakes, anyone who has prepared seriously would make those. So at the end of the day, it's all about your preparation. And that turned out to be true because CLAT 2021 does still have a lot of mistakes after the objections. But I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Anyone who prepared seriously would have made a lot of mistakes. If there's one thing I would like to say to CLAT 2022 or 2023 aspirants, then I would say ki do not go by the logic which some questions in CLAT 2020 and 2021 have. follow what your mocks tell you, follow what like have a discussion with your faculty, find out what mistakes you're making and what strategy you should follow, and don't prepare for the worst, prepare for an average paper. And just don't on the day of the exam, don't try to think ki examiner kya soch raha hoga. Think as if you're setting the question paper, and go for the option which you think is right. Because if you think about what the examiner thinks is right, then you're not going to get the question right. Because even if you get it right, you won't get it right for all the questions because you don't know who the examiner is. So just be true to yourself, go for your gut feeling, and just keep giving mocks. That's it. Keep giving mocks and work on your weaknesses.
Utkarsh, on the onset, I'm really happy that you give CLAT in 2021 because this is off the topic, but then people who had appeared for 2020, they haven't still attended the college. They haven't got their suit, they haven't bought anything. So I'm really happy that you give CLAT this year. And now there is just one simple question that I would ask you. How do you avoid distraction? And how do you keep a continuous motivation throughout the year?
So I'm talking about me particularly, I do not have a social media account yet. So that was one thing, that was one aspect which I think helped me a lot because I did not have a lot of distractions in the first place. But it's not like social media is bad or one should completely quit it. But as far as I've seen, it does tend to be very distracting. So if one can manage it, then it's completely okay. But apart from the other distractions were more or less my extracurricular activities, which I opted for not stopping because they were not hampering my CLAT prep. I did not think they were hampering my CLAT prep. But yes, moderation is of course essential. One should have a schedule. Like I said, just fix a particular time, a particular amount of time you're giving to your CLAT prep, and just give it every day. Even if it's 30 minutes, it does not matter. Just give it every day and do not procrastinate. Because if you have momentum on your side, then more or less last mein ho jayega.
Right. So when it comes to GK, it's vast, right? And again, preparing for 2 years, then you're obviously trying to develop a habit of things, and even perhaps those things which may not come in the exam, but you have to develop this habit. So how did you go about your GK preparation?
So I started preparing for GK seriously after seeing the CLAT 2020 paper. When CLAT happened in September last year, the GK section at least was not according to what people expected. So the GK section turned out to be completely reasoning based. One had to be completely abreast with the latest happenings and the latest events and the uh, opinions of other people about the event, the outcomes of those, and wanted to remember uh, reasoning facts more than material facts. So I think that was one aspect which most people made their motto after CLAT 2020. The paper रोज पढ़ना है, editorial रोज पढ़ना है, and that was also what I followed. My main source of preparation throughout the year was the newspaper and then Manthan 2.0. I was doing both of these regularly. Unfortunately, CLAT 2021 deviated a bit from this pattern, but I don't think anyone who had been reading newspapers regularly would have had that huge of a problem after the exam. Yes, during the exam, it was a huge demotivator when you saw that GK was not according to what you expected. But after the exam, when I came home, I realized that I hadn't done as bad as I thought I had. So a lot of people had done worse, and I think a regular newspaper reading a habit definitely helped that. So I think those who are preparing for CLAT in the future, they should not trust what the consortium says. First of all, please read static GK. Please read the small bites, which every topic is important now. I was so sure that Israel, Palestine, Afghan issue, and all of those, the Myanmar coup, some of those would at least come in the exam, but CLAT third World War today is more important, so one could never predict anything. So I would suggest read everything, prepare for CLAT as if you're giving a lit, but keep reading the paper because you don't know what CLAT 2022 might throw at you. They're still following the CLAT 2020 pattern. So
And into quizzing very early in your school times. Satvik sir somehow couldn't join us today, but he did give me that he knew you for a long time and that you've been into quizzing for a long time. So did that help in your preparation?
It definitely did, sir, because I think CLAT helped quizzing more than quizzing helped CLAT for me, because preparing for CLAT at least preparing in the last year after the pattern change, I don't regret any bit of that preparation. Every little event that I would have found, every reading about Israel, Palestine, reading about Afghan, reading about Myanmar, all those things gave me more knowledge than I would have if I hadn't been preparing for CLAT. Even though they might not have helped me in CLAT 2021 ka paper per se, but they definitely helped me personally a lot, because the knowledge I gained throughout that period, I don't think I would have gained that if it hadn't been for CLAT. And even Satvik sir would agree that preparing for that quizzing is quite different from CLAT, because quizzing you don't have, you have to apply logic and apply lateral thinking more. So preparing for GK and preparing for CLAT were different, but but preparing for CLAT certainly helped me quiz better.
So what are your future plans?
Right now, sir, I'm thinking of going to Bangalore, the 5-year course there, and after that, I haven't decided right now. I think that would be something that discussions there and discussions with my peers, and getting a taste of all the different fields that I could go into after the degree there. I think I would get a taste of that after I join college. But right now, litigation seems fascinating, but we'll see in a couple of years.
I think, Utkarsh, you have kept the TLLST Bhubaneswar's legacy rolling. Last year we had Aditya, who had secured an AIR 50 and is currently with Bangalore. I'm sure that he would also be very glad to meet you. He's most probably in town. I think Sudhanshu sir can connect you with him.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Utkarsh. And
Thank you so much.
all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir.
All the best, Utkarsh.
And
Thank you, sir.
for your future.
All the best, Utkarsh, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.